Okay. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Fucking boo. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fucking Boo Bombing Stories with Big Irish J. I am Big Irish J. And shout out to the Boo Crew, aka the Boo Birds, aka the Bombardiers. Our guest this week is a good buddy of mine. He has 2 dry bar specials. You were the first one, right?
Yeah, I was. There was 2 of us that started it, but yeah, it was the
Heath the
original.
Great Harmison. What up, Heath?
Hello. I'm excited to be here with you right now.
Yeah, people don't know right now you're in a 5-star hotel in Dubai, and you took the time out to get on, put up a green screen and put that fake brick behind
Yeah,
you.
this nice, amazing brick wall. It's yeah.
He's recording this in a hallway.
I'm in a hallway in Boise, Idaho.
Because that was where the best lighting was. Oh
Yes.
shit. The shit we do, right?
I'm in what we call my buddy calls his murder cabin.
Nice.
But yeah, there are dead spirits here that are not safe. But it's free. You know what I mean?
I mean, what do dead spirits do? Boo! Perfect.
Boo.
Okay. So what's your bombing story, Heath?
Okay, so this was probably 12 years ago. I was called to fill in for
The
someone
Lord?
who, yeah, and it was, so I was in Boise, Idaho at the time. I got a call, and this booker's like, "Hey, can you do a gig in Montana tonight?" He's like, "I had someone fall out. I need somebody." And by the way, this is in the winter, so. And I drive a Dodge Neon, so it's just front wheel drive. That's it. So he's like, I just really need somebody, and and I was like, all right. So I go. It was a corporate gig, and it was in like Billings, Bose. I think it's Billings, Montana. Anyway, it was a 12-hour drive to get from where I was at. So
can I ask how much, just so the listeners that are non-comics know, like what we do as idiots? Can I ask how much it paid, or do you remember?
$400.
Oh my! So I was just gonna say you're spending more than that in gas.
Yeah, this was my first actual corporate gig.
Okay, all right.
So, and here's what he told me. He said I gave him a couple options, and they loved you and want you. I showed him a couple clips, and they want you to come. And so I was like, all right. So I go. I drive the 12 hours, and by the time I get there, 2 hours later, I'm supposed to be on stage. So I have zero time to really it's just I'm exhausted.
Yeah, and get your wits about you.
Yeah, I show up, and the lady that booked me, she comes up, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. I want you. I have a favor. I need you to tell this joke, this one that you like that we watched on on one of your clips." So I used to be Mormon, so I had some Mormon material that I would do, but I I never did it. I always knew that you shouldn't do religious
Stuff, yeah.
material and stuff or political at these types of things, right? So I was like, well, I know you probably shouldn't do. And she's like, well, that's why I booked you. She's like, I really want you to do this bit, and I'm like, okay.
You're like, are you the one writing the check? Okay, whatever you want.
Yeah. So go in. It's a typical small hotel conference room type thing. I mean, it's not small. Like there's 300 people at this thing, right? So it's not like it's a small, like that small of a corporate. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: it's one of those ones that had like the sound system's in the ceiling, and they don't have any lighting. It's a banquet, but it's like so they have the awards, they had a raffle, they had all the things that could go wrong with the corporate gig went wrong that night.
And and by the way, and when you say they don't have any lighting, that means they have all of the lighting on, like all the lights. Yeah, exactly.
Thinking that, hey, this they can see you, so yeah, all the lighting's on, no spots, no nothing to put a focal point on the stage, which is, by the way, non-existent. There was no stage, it was just a space.
Right.
And so the mic went out, obviously. And it was a long room. It was like long, right? So it was just back. It just went back. And there was these big round tables with that fit like 8 people at each table kind of thing, all spread throughout this thing. And so I go, before I even get up there, they had already done, so they went through 3 days of training before this. Okay, so they've been through 3 days of training. They did the dinner, then they did the raffle, then they did awards, and then this is what happens. The guy goes up and he's like, "Okay, everybody, the night's not over yet. We have a surprise for you guys. We have Heath Harmison here. Heath, come on up."
And they don't say what you are.
That's it. He didn't say I was a comedian. He didn't say anything. He just said, "We have a surprise for you. Here's Heath Harmison. Go." That's
Dude,
it.
I know always, what do they say? Hindsight is 2020, but how great would it be if you were like, okay, they're not going to tell me anything. So you just go, "Hey, I want to let you guys know I'm the new CEO, and you all are getting $5,000 bonuses that will be on your next check." And then you just walk out.
And then walk out.
Yeah.
I'll take my check, please. So I go up there and I go into this mic and it's dead. And I'm just like, "Hey," and the guy's over there is like he doesn't know what he's doing, right? So now I don't have a mic and I'm just projecting, and I'm just, yeah. "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm a comedian, so here we go." And then I did a little opener. The first joke went pretty good. Started getting them a little bit, but they were still kind of confused about what was happening, because you have to be prepared for comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just throw people in like that. Anyways, so and it's not like I've only been doing this a couple years at this point.
Right.
I've been doing this for 15 years now, so maybe 3 years I'd been doing stand up. So I'm still pretty green with it all. So I'm like, anyway. So I start doing my thing, and then I start doing the material she wanted me to do. Okay, and so now the Mormon material, all it was I did a couple of celebrity impressions. So I did Mormon missionaries as celebrities, like celebrities as Mormon missionaries, kind of joke. I did do a polygamy joke, but I did write them so that to inform people a little bit. Anyways, it didn't matter. So I do the jokes. The front table, the whole front table, all 8 of them stand up and walk out of the room. This is 10 minutes in. I had to do an hour.
And they're in the front, you said?
They're in the front.
Okay, so for the non-comics listening, what that just said to the whole audience, like that, everybody sees that.
Yes.
Everybody has seen that.
Just imagine yourself at a Christmas party. Someone's performing. This whole table gets up and leaves in the middle of the show. And it wasn't just one of them. It was all of them at once and walked out. And it was the owner of the company. This lady thought that it would be funny because her boss is Mormon that I should do that material. And the guy totally got offended about it. And then from that moment on, I didn't get a peep, not a thing from the audience. Dude, I was sweating so hard. I mean, I sweat anyway.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, it was pouring down my face. I could see people's faces like, oh my gosh, this guy. Like, because there was nothing I could say. There was nothing I could say.
Well, they can't also, whenever you do I haven't done a lot of corporate gigs because I'm for the. I mean, I can work clean, but it's not my thing, and I don't enjoy it. So, but the corporate
nobody
gigs,
enjoys it.
Yeah, but when you're as a comic, when you're doing the corporate gig, you can see literally like all the employees kind of looking at either the boss or HR. Like, can we laugh at this? And then like they see their reaction, then they're like, okay. So the fact
they gotta
that
check in.
Yeah, so the fact that the boss got up and left, everybody's like, oh well, I'm not fucking laughing at this. The boss just left.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm doing my time. I'm getting my money. I'm doing my job. I did it. I sweat like I could have jumped in a pool and been less wet. It was just so bad. I wanted to quit, man. That's the night I wanted. They got me a hotel.
I was just going to ask that.
I drove straight home. I drove home. I drove 12 hours to get there, no sleep. Did the show. Got in my car, drove right back 12 hours.
And just 12 hours of like, did I make the right decision? I mean, I'm 3 years
Oh,
in.
no, yeah. I'm not going. I was crying. I was crying in the car. I'm like, this is the worst thing. I'm sleep deprived. It is winter driving through Yellowstone. I'm like, dude, I almost hit a moose. Like, I almost died on the way back. Like, it was the worst gig that I have ever had. Like, I was seriously this close to quitting comedy completely. And I was just like, I got to do something else. This isn't for me.
Isn't that crazy how a lesser comic or a lesser person or somebody that doesn't have the same grit as you, that might have ended them.
Yeah.
Dude,
sure.
But here you are, 12 years later, and look where you're at now. You're fucking you're doing corporate gigs for 500. And a 12 or 10-hour drive. No, it's but yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I remember, dude. Did you ever know Harold Gomez out of Seattle?
No.
Okay, well, he was a headliner that toured around kind of the Northwest. He won the Seattle International at one point.
Okay.
And we ended up being roommates for a while, but he would take me out on like local road gigs and let me quote unquote feature for him. But he literally would say, just do however much time you got and I'll cover the rest. So I was featuring, doing only like maybe 15 minutes, but there was no, which was great as a comic to develop because I had no stress. Right.
Yeah.
But I remember, dude, we did one gig and I did whatever horse shit I did. He went up and ripped it. And then I remember we were back at where we lived together, and he's in his room and I'm in my room, and he's like, I don't know, playing Madden. He had a great set, so he's having fun. And I remember laying in the bed, literally saying like, have I fucked up in making this, like deciding to do this? And I'm like, and I also remember thinking like, dude, it's like every one of his jokes is like a closer, and I don't have a closer. And it's the shit that, goes through your head that it's so fucking wild, dude. And now do you still do corporate gigs or no?
Yes. In fact, I do a lot of corporate gigs.
Okay.
They're great. I mean, I charge way more. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, and this is what I would say about corporate gigs too. If you're an aspiring comic or if you're a comic doing this, I'm just going to say, don't do corporates for less than $1,000. Because if you're doing it for less, it's they have the money. I'm just telling you. Yeah. I've done the smallest companies out there, and they have the money. You know what I mean? I have my own rate, and my rate is more than that. Like corporate, it's a different deal. It's a whole nother beast. It's harder. You're putting yourself into it. And I sent them a whole contract with rules that night. So I guess what I learned from that night was to be prepared, right? And just assume that anybody who is running a corporate gig has no idea what they're doing, because they don't. Most of the time, they do not. So you have to say, I want good lighting with the lighting, sound, I want good sound, not the stuff that's in the ceiling at a hotel. I want sound speakers. And if they don't want it, and if you have the actual equipment, you can charge them more and bring your own sound
Mm,
equipment or whatever. You can be prepared that way and just charge them extra for having to do that. I know
yeah.
our friend Derek Richards, that's how he does it too. Um, but I have the contract, and in the contract it says, I am right after dinner as they're serving dessert, or right after dessert, before any raffles, before any
Ah, smart.
awards, before any of that. Like, I go on, and I am never ever a surprise. People need to be ready for me.
Yeah,
Do not make me a surprise. So
dude.
yeah, so I have this whole contract written out, and I make them read it and sign it and make sure we are all on the same page. So
That's great.
yeah,
When you were saying, I did a wedding once. Have you ever done a wedding?
dude, I've done and performed. I've married people.
Oh, dude.
I've yeah,
When you were talking earlier about her saying, "Oh, I love you, and I'm so excited," or that we had these choices, and you were my first pick, and I want you to do the bit. It reminded me of, I think I talked about it on this podcast, but I got hit up by a couple in Seattle. They're like, "We're getting married. We remember you from the parlor. We love you. You're like our favorite. Would you do it?" And I was like, I was like, a wedding, and I told him, I was like, I don't know what a wedding comic is, but I don't think I would
yeah,
be that. And they were like, no, 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 we want you to swear. It's going to be like 25 to 35-year-olds. We want you to do what you do. And he specifically requested the cheating whores bit.
oh, okay,
so I'm like, okay, whatever. It ended up, I gave him a dollar amount that I would want, and they're like, okay, yes. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing a wedding. I get up there literally right before I'm about to go on. The groom, the couple was great, but the groom, he goes, oh man, dude, thank you so much for doing this, man. We really appreciate it. I was like, yeah, no problem. He's like, dude, we love you, man. He's like, it's crazy. We tried to get Jeff Dye, and he wanted way too much money. So we're so glad you were. I was like, oh, so I was your like second or third choice.
oh yeah,
Thanks. And I was like, thanks for telling me right before I go on.
jerks. You
But
couldn't get Mr. Last Comic Standing, so I guess I'll just
yeah.
do my thing. That's
But
funny.
now, yeah, dude, you've been married for how long? You've been married since you started comedy,
Uh,
right?
yeah, I've been married for 18 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
So when you got home from that 12-hour drive, was the first thing where you like, babe, I need to reassess what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm gonna go back to nursing school.
Damn.
Like I was like, I don't know how to do it. And my wife's always been really good about she's really in my corner with this, which is really hard to find in as an entertainer.
Yeah.
And so she's always kind of talked me down and be like, just take a breath, realize that you are just like every other comic, and every comic bombs. Every comic has their time when they don't do well and things don't go your way. She's like, you just need to put your ego aside a little bit and decide to, push through this, basically.
Dude, good on
So
her. Jesus.
I was like, and then we had sex. So yeah.
Right. So, all right. Well, you said what you learned from it is to be prepared, which is great. In the moment of that, I mean, I don't know how, you don't know, as you do this over time, you learn more and more. So I was going to say, I don't know what you could have changed in the moment that you knew then. You were only 3 years
Yeah.
in. It's your first corporate gig. I mean,
Yeah.
but you said you did your time. Did you have any thoughts of like, maybe I should
Bailing.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Every second. I was like, I was like, but I was like, you know what? I gotta do what I was hired to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Regardless of how this is gonna go. And here's the other thing. I was headed back, and I had driven through the night, and it was probably 9 a.m. I get a call from the booker that booked me on this, and he's like, they want their money back. That's how bad it was. Yeah. They
Holy
want their
shit.
money. And that's when I got pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
I said, first off, I did exactly what she asked for. I told her that I shouldn't do the bit, but she insisted I do the bit. That is not on me. That is on her. I'm
100%.
keeping the money. I just went through hell. I am
Yeah.
not giving this money back.
I'm keeping this $20 I now owe in gas.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm keeping this.
Fuck them. Well, first, hey, Heath, thank you for coming on and telling your bombing story. And if you have other ones you want to tell, we'll have you back on at a later date. What's your, give all your social media and anything you want to plug.
Yeah, let's see. When is this airing? Is this airing right now?
This will go out tomorrow. No,
okay.
We'll go out tomorrow.
Okay, cool. So this weekend, if you're in Boise, Idaho, I'm performing at the Lounge at the End of the Universe, doing a show tonight, which is Thursday. Shows Friday and Saturday as well. So you can go on their website, the Lounge Boise or loungeboise.com. So you can go get tickets there. Come check me out. I'm way funnier than I was 12 years ago.
Yeah, Crusher. Heath Crusher.
Yeah. Yeah. But
you're so humble.
I know. Shut up. I'm on Instagram, Facebook.
Blowing up on TikTok.
My biggest following is on TikTok. So you can check me out on TikTok. I do stupid videos. So if you like to laugh on a daily basis, I try and make that happen. So, and you can check out my dry bar specials too if you want.
Yes, both of them. Are they? But where can they see those?
Drybarcomedy.com.
Okay, perfect.
They also have an app. Yep.
Okay. Can I finish now?
Yeah, you can talk.
Thank you, Heath, for doing this. I love you, and you'll like this exit, Heath. Until next time, everybody. Bon voyage! Boo.
Fucking boo.